Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is our Business Synergy Spotlight series. You know, we have been meeting up on various topics with amazing human beings across the world. And today we have a very special edition with very special people. We are with Professor Dr. Sharifuddin Zain, the Director of Makerspace at which is Universiti Malaya. Welcome, Professor. And also,
Thank you.
yes, and we also have Mr. Ramesh Pillai, who is the founder of STEM for All Makerspace in Malaysia. So today's conversation is very interesting. We are talking about a specific event happening in Malaysia end of this month. Is the ASEAN MakersFest 2026. You know that in Business Synergy Spotlight series and the Business Synergy movement, we are igniting conscious co-creation and also bridging people to impactful capital. And in order to achieve that, this is a complete ecosystem. And ASEAN Makers Fest, as I met Professor and Mr. Ramesh last year, we saw so much of synergy because they are taking care of some very important people for the world, which is the future generation, future leaders, which is the students community. So we saw that this passion of students going into the real world through the makerspace is a very important part of the conversation today. So I want to say thank you for your time, Professor, and Mr. Ramesh for joining us. Why don't you say a quick hello, because you have decades of experience. Why don't you share a little bit about Makerspace as a general from your side in as well as Mr. Ramesh on Stanford.
Okay, Prof, you go first.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much, Zain. And I'm very happy to be here to share my experience, my knowledge. And I think the most important thing is not so much about experience or sharing experience or knowledge. It is about giving encouragement to the younger generation, especially because these are our future leaders. And for the past decades, we know that the world today lives on because of the advancements of technologies and innovation. And we want our future generation to be innovators, not just one or two innovators. When you read history, you get one or two, or maybe less than 10 people who are considered as innovators. We want a generation of innovators. So this is why I think me and Ramesh is here, and that's why we are pushing the agenda of maker culture in Malaysia.
Fantastic. And from Malaysia. Thank you.
Thanks. And yeah, I'll just, by way of the introduction, so I am very much involved in promoting the spirit of maker culture. And we're very, very fortunate that we've had this opportunity to work with Professor Sharifuddin, the founder and director of Makerspace. He's a very passionate person, and there's a lot of synergy that we see to be associated with a very reputable academia like Now, as for what we have been doing, it's a very community-centric because, the makers thing is, it's not very lucrative as a commercial entity. All right. So people who are always involved in the makers initiatives are those of passion in making things, and yet they can contribute so much to the economy in various ways, or even career advancement. As we go along, I think, we'll explain further. But what draws me to this entire initiative in promoting maker culture is that something new, something creative comes out, and that's what we like to see, the younger kids being involved, and maybe to a certain extent lesser of screen time, so that we can get them involved in making things, as the name itself suggests, makers culture. So that's something that I hope we all can achieve together.
I am so inspired to understand more about this as the audience, because we are talking about three important areas of conversation today. One is why makers education matters right now, and what makes MakersFest so unique as an ecosystem, as well as what participants or attendees of this session, this festival, can expect and gain from as an opportunity. So before that, I think we have a video to show. Why don't we get into the video? What do you think?
Nice.
Yeah, let's do that.
So after this, if you want to enter Makerspace, you need to type your text. So you need to bring your text and want to come in.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring to see all of that. Let me just amend this screen for a bit. I'm having challenge with the screen. Let me see. Okay, let's continue the conversation. Just trying to. Okay. Kind of got lost with that configuration. Okay. Technical glitch. Okay, so this is really inspiring, because I was there at one of the soft launch session last week and last month, and then last week you had the first press release, if I'm not wrong, on the event. I would love to get into some very important details of this activity. So Prof, can you tell us from a university perspective, why is makers education becoming so important today?
Okay, maybe I can be as generic as possible and say that we're not really just talking about university education, but we are really talking about education as a whole. And I'll be talking about what I understand from the education system in Malaysia. Yeah. So if we talk about education, now we jump to the university, for example. Yeah. So the university traditionally has been very strong at building knowledge. So in University of Malaya, for example, researchers publish papers. Students graduate every year. SPM was just announced last week, and we see students scoring SPM straight A's, right? So education system is very good at building knowledge, but in today's world, knowledge is no longer sufficient.
Yes.
The future demands individuals who can translate knowledge into action.
Nice.
Right?
I love that.
And it's action that is to be manifested, so that people understand that this is where knowledge brings us. Yeah. So in many cases, students graduate having understood concepts, having knowledge, but not having applied them meaningfully. Now that's the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I give you an example. Maybe say let's talk about something a bit more obscure, right? Maybe Malay education.
Yeah.
That in Universiti Malaya there is an Academy Pengajian Melayu, Malay Studies, Academy of Malay Studies. So the typical output of I would say the if you talk about the pedagogy of the academy, the output is usually textual. It could be audio, but these are outputs that rarely benefits the public. Okay, The public wants to see something that they can understand. So this is what I mean by uh, students graduate having understood concepts, but they are not really applying these concepts to the point that the general public understands what they have learned in the university. Yeah, I mean, really,
Yeah,
what's the point of learning in the university if you don't benefit the public, isn't it? So
absolutely.
this is the gap. Yeah, so makers education challenges this by shifting the focus from knowing to doing. Yeah.
Love it.
So it creates an environment where students are expected to experiment, to fail, to repeat, to iterate, to build, right?
That
So this
sounds so
is
much like
the
life.
issue.
Yes, go on. You were
It's not that students are lacking talents. Yeah, it's not that students are lacking talents. I mean, students are highly capable. In the University of Malaya, I've seen with my own eyes, the students are really capable. But usually they are not given the platform. The only platform that they are given in order to prove that they are worthy are exams. I scored in my exams. I got 4 flat in the university, right? I graduated with 4 flat. That is the only platform that they have to really show that they are worthy students, right? But uh, how do I know that this capability can actually affect and be useful for the people outside? Yeah?
it's so
So it's
important
not
that
always.
yeah, it's so important that professors and teachers talk into the practicality of the knowledge that you're talking about. And
Exactly,
how
yeah.
does
Yeah.
Makerspace, tell us a little bit more about the Makerspace at UM. How does the Makerspace UM bridge learning beyond the classroom for the students?
Okay, so maker space is giving the platform, the environment, yeah, for those talents to manifest themselves.
Mm,
So usually in many universities, even in our region, maker spaces are usually associated with entrepreneurship. Yeah.
yeah,
So some good universities actually have many maker spaces, and most of these maker spaces are associated with entrepreneurship. They are sometimes associated with centers of innovation, right?
yeah,
So in UM, we are still lacking that. So what we are trying to achieve by having a makerspace, it basically it's like a seed. So when the students actually started to feel that now there is a platform for me to
mm,
be innovative, a platform for me to make what I have learned. Okay, um, after a while, students will start to demand and say, we need makerspaces in our faculties. We need makerspaces everywhere. Yeah?
oh, that's so cool.
So this makerspace, to me, I see it as a seed, as the catalyst, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah,
Before this innovative culture, this maker culture starts booming, and I believe that that will happen. It's just
yeah,
like water. Water tries to find its place and it tries to go down. Tries to go to the lowest possible state. And same thing goes for innovation. Maker
yeah.
culture, making, collaborating between different students of different fields and solving real world problems. We need these spaces, and
Wow.
it is just we will not stop.
Yes, and I think it's so important that, like what you said, to fail, to experience all of that before they get into the real world and get the hard knocks. It's the resilience and the clarity that the generation now needs to face the world, the real world. And I'm so excited about the ASEAN Makers Fest. For those of our friends who are watching this live and recording, you may see a QR code right on top of the page. You can actually go and scan the QR code and register for the ASEAN Makers Fest, because we are really excited about how the community is coming together in Malaysia. And what excites you most, Prof, about ASEAN Makers Fest as a platform for students and educators? Yes, Prof.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't get you.
What excites you the most about the ASEAN Makers Fest? Because it's about a platform bringing together students and educators. So, what is exciting? Because I saw you speak the last time so passionately about the importance of makerspace in everywhere in the world, right, for children. So, what really excites you with this ASEAN Makers Fest?
Yeah. To me, when we have a makerspace, we have students beginning to flock makerspace, doing things. Even right now, I mean, I'm in makerspace right now. I can see students building robots. They have a competition next week, right? Um, so the students actually they are keen to show what they have made, what they have done, their creativity, their innovation. They can show it here. They can come to Makerspace, share their creativity with other students. But it will be better if there is a platform where what they want to share is not just within the university.
Yeah.
They can share this with everyone, you know. And Makerspace is one of those platforms that we started off in 2024. It was a small one. Hopefully, this will just grow, and just like the Caucasian or maker culture, it's just going to grow. It will not stop. So
Yeah.
Makers Fest will definitely grow. So this is the second time we're doing Makers Fest,
Wow.
and if you ask me how do I feel, I am very very excited. You know, I'm excited because yeah, it is a platform where engineers come together with school children. School children can understand what engineers are doing. Art performers come to understand what engineers are doing, and they start to find, and it's actually a good platform for discussion.
Yes.
People from the arts, humanities coming together with engineers, looking at real world problems and discussing. So this is what we expect to happen in Makers Fest. Besides just enjoying, children will probably enjoy themselves a lot. A lot of activities
Activities.
that we're trying to offer. But I'm thinking more about how makers or those with a maker mindset can come and meet, come together. You know, this is like it's like durian.
Yeah. Ooh.
Right, you just put a durian there, right? You put a durian, and everybody will come and flock the durian, around the durian, and try to have a piece of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to offer is basically this durian for makers. Yeah, and in the past Makers Fest, it was very successful. We managed to actually get people come and flock around the durian. So
Yeah.
this time there'll be more activities that is more meaningful. We'll have forums, for example, yeah, where people with experience can share their experiences with the younger generation, with children, with students, all in name of inculcating and spreading this idea of being a maker. That everybody has the right to be a maker. Everybody has the
I love
right to
the
have a
passion that you
platform.
are. I love the passion that you are speaking with. I can really feel the passion coming
Yeah,
through as well. Thank you. And I know I didn't go like I left Mr. Ramesh to just listen in, but be welcome to come in and contribute as well. Because you have been one of the first person I met, and we started speaking about Buckminster Fuller that really connected us because you have been
Yeah.
passionately doing this whole makerspace community from where you are at, and I love it, that work. What inspired you to bring together Makers Fest, and what gap are we filling, trying to fill here?
Okay, thanks, Dr. Azeeza. And I think there are certain things that's very much in continuation of what Prof have mentioned. First question is what inspired us to bring Maker Fest. Now, the idea of Maker Fest is something quite new in Malaysia. Things that have been around for a very long time will be like invention competitions, you have technology exhibitions, you have science fest, Those have been happening for a very long time. Okay, but the concept of a maker space or a maker fest is something relatively new. So then the issue is, what is makers? How different is it? I think was we have to try to demystify the term makers, right? And why is it needed, right? So to me, what I see is that while a STEM education talks about science, technology, engineering, and maths, which is what we also do, then there is another very exciting thing about applied STEM, right?
Mm.
And that is very closely associated with the makers, right? And makers goes beyond the four fields of science, technology, engineering, and maths, because here is where comes art, comes design, right? And most importantly, it's all hands on, right? So
Yeah.
one good example that I can relate and I think a lot of Malaysians who are listening to this session, you may have kids to go to school and they study a subject called RBT. Not all students, but some schools offer the subject RBT. That's called Reka Bentuk Technology. And in the international schools and private schools in English, they call it Design Technology. Now, the makers' activities are very, very much aligned to this. Hence, then the other question that you also pose there is, what is the gaps,
Yeah.
right? So far, we have not seen any dedicated exhibition or showcase that brings forward this kind of a projects. Like I said, we have seen STEM exhibitions, technology exhibitions, invention, environmental exhibitions. We've seen quite a lot of that, renewable energy, but more broadly on the fundamentals of maker skills is there. So hence there's a gap there. What happens to these kids who are in school and they have got projects for their RBT, and some of it are very, very innovative.
Mm.
So what we're saying is that let's give that a shout. Let's give that some prominence, for these kids to come to showcase. So the gap that we see, and I think this was something that I recall Prof has mentioned a lot of. Many have got their own initiative, have their own maker spaces, but we all seem to be working in silo. And one of the very good analogy, Prof, if you remember, you say is the leady, right? So the leady on its own, it's like a silo, right? But when you put all the leadies together and you tie it becomes a very, very effective broom, that sweeps very, very well. So that's something that's missing. So I think the gap here is that's missing. So Makerfest, the idea is to bring all the players in technology, in craft. One of the things that also was mentioned earlier was engineers and kids. That
Yes.
happens at a makerspace. That indeed happens at a makerspace because we'll have engineering students from the Faculty of Engineering to conduct a workshop to teach kids to do something, right?
Mm.
So these are
Mm.
the kind of things that you can expect at our Maker Fest.
I just love the idea that you'll talk about the art faculty. So it's not about just one group of people, and that's where the co-creation comes in and the innovation comes in. How do you bring, like, we always talk about in our business programs, Uber took over a industry, taxi industry. It is not even a taxi company. So where does
Yes.
the competition comes in? It can be from anywhere in the world, and it's because of an innovative, a problem-solving element that is
Right.
needed in the minds of children nowadays. It's not just like order takers. They actually go into a more dynamic space if they are allowed these kind of activities for support of leadership or support of growth, right? So this is so important. So once again, if you have not yet registered, the QR code is on the screen. We're going to share with you later on the link as well, but you can scan the QR code and be at our ASEAN Makers Fest end of this month. And I want to also like understand what kind of experiences can the Makers Fest provide for participants that they wouldn't get in a typical school or events.
All right. Shall I answer that?
Yeah, please go ahead, Mr.
Okay.
Ramesh.
All right. Okay. What kind of experience? All right. Great. Now, see, what happens in a maker fest is that number one, we work very closely with the communities, like for instance, when we did the media day briefing, we had one community representative from an organization called Repair Cafe. We're so very impressed because they believe in trying to reuse, not trying to, we do not want a throwaway culture. All right. So that community is going to come and teach how you can actually repair things, make good of your things. We're
Wow.
working with another organization which is on bamboo. All right. And you think that bamboo is such a primitive material, but it has got very, very good properties that can be made into good structural,
I'm going to
what do you
share it.
call,
These
yes.
are the workshops, right?
Right, right. So
Yeah.
these are some of the workshops, like you see, Repair Cafe, for example, they will be teaching. So the question was, what is it that, we have that probably has not been done in other platforms, in other occasions? These are the kind of things.
I think.
We also have something to do with soil, using what
Oh,
we call compost soil to create your own terrarium. And this is by Dr. Billy, very renowned person who's passionate in teaching how to grow healthy food. So you
wow.
see, there's many kind of a thing, and they all fall into the ethos of makers. They all make things. They teach others. They teach the youngsters to make. So that's perhaps the most interesting experience.
Wow.
We
I
also
see
have
that
seen.
teachers
Sorry,
also get an opportunity to be a maker. Teachers Makers Challenge. Is that
that's
happening?
right. That's true happening. In fact, we've already got about 20 submissions.
Wow.
This was led by Rexen in Penang, and we had Dr. Wan to actually organize this. So teachers also have an opportunity to show what kind of things that they have created that can be used as a teaching aid, for example. Right? Yes, that's one of the things that also be highlighted at the Maker Fest. Yeah.
Oh,
So
great.
that's some of the very unique experience that is going to be brought to the Maker Fest.
Very nice. And I just want to, kind of wrap this up. We were going to have a little bit more conversations on this for school students, because we are having schools. We are reaching out to a lot of universities, schools, students in the region. We're talking about ASEAN. And then
Right.
corporates are also watching this. And, LinkedIn is made up of a lot of adults. What
Yes.
opportunities can they tap on through the Makers Fest? Maybe both
All
of
right.
you can share your perspectives on it.
Okay, I'll share mine first. I'm very passionate about reaching out to corporate organizations. Prof will have some thoughts as well. My thoughts will be this: I would love corporates to come on board in a few areas. One, possibly they too can show some of their innovative products or technology and the sciences behind it. It's not a technology exhibition where it's a sales kind of a thing, but how the technology works. Right. So that's one way that we would love corporate organizations to
And
come
I
on board.
and I want to just highlight one of our Go Global Community partner, Dr. Siddharth, will be coming there. He's already preparing for it to come with his VR technology that he's using for mental wellness.
Oh,
And he already has
excellent.
reached out to schools, about 800 of them in India. Now he wants to
Uh,
really meet up and share his expertise. He's a Stanford lead student as well. So it's going to be really exciting. So this is what you're saying, right? People in the corporate world, they're already
exactly.
doing something. They come and
Yes.
inspire others.
Correct. So that's a good example. Another good example is we had an engineering firm, and if it's okay to mention the name, it's Gamuda Engineering. And
Yeah.
they are into bridge constructions and
Yes.
buildings and
Yes.
highways.
Property
So
development.
they Yes, and so they come on board, and they previously, that actually taught kids, engineers, teaching kids how to build bricks, the
Oh,
concept of structural integrity and all, just using toothpick and some kind of a binder. All right.
right.
I too can teach that, but I don't have an engineering qualification. So I don't look as impressive as an engineer says, look here, I'm a qualified engineer and I'm going to teach you how to build this bridge. So
Yeah.
that kind of a thing is what we would really love corporate organizations to come on board. And of course, the third area is if corporates can support under maybe their CSR initiatives, to support some of the underserved community, bring them on board.
Mm.
Because they have got problems, challenges, and transportation or food or what. So we would really like them to help to say they can bring a few bus loads of kids to come and participate in the Maker Fest. That will be my appeal to corporate organizations who can support this Maker Fest.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ramesh. I know you have been passionately serving this for, I think, almost a decade, right, in this space with your
Very
team.
much.
And it's a very passionate team. I've seen them so many times run this effectively. Prof, what do you have to tell about the space? I mean, like the opportunities you feel will be available.
Okay, when it comes to corporate sector, and you ask questions like how can the corporate sector actually benefit from Makers Fest if they were to, sort of become partners or collaborators and similar roles, lah. So how can corporate sectors actually gain? I'm going to look at this in a bit, my direction is a bit different from what Ramesh has explained.
Sure.
Because I'm an educator, one thing that I realize is that for many years that I've taught in the university, one of the things that many of us take for granted is the fact that every year, year in, year out, we are producing students, and these students are practically raw, unfiltered talents.
Mm.
They are raw, unfiltered talents. But unfortunately, the way things are done, when students come to the university, for example, they go out, there will be a career day, and in this career day, students will be rushing, trying to design their CVs as nice as possible, and giving the CVs to companies and hoping that they can get a job,
Yeah.
And these are they come as trying to portray that they are polished graduates, right? But what the corporates are not seeing, from their CVs and the way they dress when they come for interviews, is that they don't see these talents building something, solving problems. You see, so to me, the most important thing that corporate sector should appreciate when they come in many different ways supporting Makers Fest is that they are getting access to raw, unfiltered talent.
Yeah, they can also do talent,
Yes.
like it can be a talent hunt as well.
Yeah. So I give you an example. Maybe a huge telecommunications company. Yeah. Huge telecommunications company. Of course, I mean, maker culture. What is this? We are really talking about, cutting edge communication technology, not some boy printing, 3D printing some. You get what I mean? And because of that, they take things for granted, right? So this is not a festival that they need to support. It's probably a waste of time. It's just a child play and stuff.
Mm.
But in actual fact, what they are missing is this, raw, unfiltered talent that can be their feeders.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I can,
For example, big
Prof.
telecommunication company can actually tag into Makers Fest, and we are willing to say, okay, you are a big communication company, you are the ones who build the infrastructure for makers, for example.
Yeah.
enabler.
With that support, we can support that. Yeah, it's not just going to be during Makers Fest. After Makers Fest, they will have access to maker spaces in the universities, right? In a way that no other corporate sector can have access to. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is how I'm thinking. It's actually access
It's
to
so
all.
it's in our mind, right? So Mr. Ramesh, you were going to say something. Go ahead. You
Yeah,
were saying,
just to add on that point when Prof mentioned about there are raw talents. So you see, makers are also problem solvers. All right. So, but we need to nurture them and give them more skills, like,
yes,
problem solving skills. So what will happen is that eventually, and I think this is what Prof really like to achieve in his makers lab as well, makerspace as well, in which corporate organizations knock on his door and say, hey, look here, I got a problem. Can your makers come up with a solution?
mm,
Right, Prof? I think your hope one day that can happen, because makers are problem solvers. So we
yes.
do have a program called Makeathon, and in which the industry can state their problems, and we pose these problems to the students. All right,
Nice.
and so the students will come up with ideas to see whether they can solve that problem, because maker spaces also have the facilities to fabricate and to build prototypes.
In
So
fact, that is
that's
the biggest gap that the world is having right now, where the academic and the industries are running separate tracks. I think I
right.
also highlighted that
Yes, very
in my
much.
comment the other time in the event. And I'm so delighted that Go Global is given an opportunity to speak into what we are good at, which is co-creating, collaborating, community creation, which is also the core of the work that you do. And I'm looking forward to seeing how we can really come together as an ecosystem, as a dynamics of growing together, because everyone with a clarity in mind can come together when we have the direction that we want to go. In this instance, it's about creating makers who are future ready, who are leadership, responsible and innovative in their direction. So I want to conclude by saying that this Makers Fest is definitely something that's going to bringing together, right? It's bringing together the community of students, educators, as well as the industry players. So I want to ask you, and of course, I understand, Mr. Ramesh. I just wanted to add on to that. The tourism board was also at your press release. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, thanks for that. Tourism Malaysia has got a initiative called Education Tourism, right? And they found that makers activities fits in very well into the education tourism, both for local as well as foreign students who can come and learn things here. So the maker spaces can offer that platform, to create that opportunity to learn something over a period of time. It could be a 2 day program or a week program. They come to make a space, they learn something, they build something. It could be a craft, it could be a design. And so that offers a lot of possibilities to also complement Tourism Malaysia's uh, initiative on tourism, education tourism. And the other reason is also because this year is Visit Malaysia year. Therefore, Tourism Malaysia is happy to then make our initiative known through their network to the ASEAN countries, so that at least there is more visibility. Yeah, that will be the roles that Tourism Malaysia would support us.
Fantastic. So we're so delighted that this could come together. It's been a lot of effort from both your sides, over months of activities and outreach campaigns. And we look forward to support this journey and also getting more people to come together and also make it work for a very successful event in ASEAN, as well as for Malaysia community to get to know each other even more in a more completing complete ecosystem, and serving its purpose. So thank you once again, Prof. Dr. Sharifuddin and Mr. Ramesh, for really making time and being part of this conversation. And you are also supporting our business synergy and growth movement by creating such a powerful activity for conscious co-creation for the community as well. So thank you once again. Well, For those of you who are watching this, remember to register for the ASEAN MakersFest in Malaysia and join us in end of April. And that's a link for you to join in, and the QR code is up there. And also for the Business Synergy and Growth Movement, you know we have a free access for you to stay updated of all our activities and events that we'll be sending you the link. So you can also scan the QR code on our link below for that registration for free as well. All right, with that, thank you once again for joining in.
Thank
Any
you.
final words from both of you?
Yeah, I would like to thank you, Dr. Azeeza,
Yeah.
and GoGLOBAL for this wonderful opportunity. And I hope this is the beginning. And should there be anybody who's interested to participate or bring audiences, please get in touch with us, or they can get in touch with you, and we'll be happy to invite them over.
Yes, we look forward to all the academic people to reach out and come together for this journey.
Yes.
Thank you.
Prof,
Prof, how
final
about you?
Well, thank you very much, first of all, for inviting us in this podcast. Yeah, my hopes, my aspiration is that the ideas that we have, the things that we hold high, our aspirations in making the maker education, maker culture, a more democratic culture, meaning it's accessible to everyone. Yeah, and this is some of our efforts to make it possible. Yeah, so by with the support of others who are also interested in education, in making sure that our future generation are innovators, who wants to see innovation not an occasional thing, wants to see innovation as a habitual thing. This is the kind of activities that you should support. And we thank you very much for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, and see you all soon in the next Business Synergy Spotlight, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.